When it comes to the Iran war, yes, it had a very severe implication over the global economy. At the same time, even the Indian economy was not untouched by the severity of the supply chain disruption that were because of the Iran war. But at the same time, this also gives us an opportunity as well to develop India as the definitive gateway for the global capital and a complete, laying down of the roadmap for Viksit Bharat 2027. Now, why I'm saying this is when it comes to the global investors, so they are looking for China plus one, in the terms of the finance. They are looking for the alternative to the China. They are not investing in China because ultimately they are looking for the safe regions which are not impacted by the geopolitical tensions. And in this condition, yes, India is a very robust region where there are no geopolitical tensions that impacts the investors in India. At the same time, when it comes to the GDP growth rate, yes, when we talk about various indexes or various reports which had been released by either World Bank or even by the RBI's monetary policy review, there had been chances that the GDP growth rate of India had been struck down. All right, it had been revised, and there are the declining trends that we will see when it comes to the GDP growth rate. But at the same time, when it comes to the GDP growth rate of India, it will outperform the G20 peers or the G20 nations, and it will be above 6%. Again, a very high growth rate of the GDP that we will see in India, even in these looming conditions. At the same time, when it comes to the policy, so we are pushing to make the Gujarat International Finance Tech City a world-class financial hub. Again, that the gift city also gives us the, when it comes to the, opportunity, it gives us the opportunity to seek the investors and to have a very good place for the investors to invest in India and to serve as the global, region for the finance hub. At the same time, when it comes to the current share of the Asia in the global GDP, that is somewhere around 55%, and even Asia's driving share of the total global growth is somewhere around 60%. Now, when it comes to the international capital, all right, how we could be the global gateway capital or GGC. So for being a global gateway capital, what we need to do is, or the international capital should be managed, or it managed from a regional hub to invest globally. That is how we will become a global gateway capital. All right, so we have to act, we have to act as the command center rather than just the destination. Now, when it comes to the model that we are following right now, it is a traditional model where the global capital, it comes into India through the FDI or FII means, that is foreign direct investment or foreign institutional investment. So that is the traditional model that we are following for, attracting the global capital into India. But for being a global gateway capital, what we need to do is that when the global capital comes, it comes to India as a regional hub, and from here, this gets distributed to all of Asia and even to all of the world. And that is how we will become the global gateway capital. And this will be a roadmap for the Viksit Bharat in 2047. Now, there are certain reshuffle in the geopolitical regime that have created this vacuum, and this poses, or this gives the opportunity to India to become the global financial hub or global capital when it comes to the gateway, global gateway for the capital or GGC. Now, what are the geopolitical reshuffles or the shuffles that we have seen? When it comes to the Singapore and Hong Kong, they are already global geopolitical, or they are global, gateway for the capital. But at the same time, right now, they are saturated, and also there are certain reallocation that is being going on. They will absorb some of the reallocation that we will be seeing. And this reallocation that I am talking about is about or more than $2 trillion that will be reallocated. And this will be underway. The investors, they are seeking a stable as well as the high growth alternative. So Hong Kong and Singapore, that provides some of the reallocation, or some of the reallocation will be absorbed over here, but it cannot handle the entirety of Asia's expanding growth alone. At the same time, when it comes to Dubai, so Dubai over here, it has developed as a post-COVID alternative to China. But at the same time, now over here there is a high risk, because we know that there are rising tensions in the West Asia that threatens this safe haven. At the same time, it raises the inflation as well as the energy security concerns. So over here, this is this is giving a vacuum to India to act as a global financial capital. At the same time, when it comes to India, we have the gift city that is located in Gujarat. It is emerging as the high capacity, emerging as well as high capacity infrastructure that is over here. So this provides with high stability. There is a neutral global standing, and this is isolated from the West Asian crisis as well. And that is why when it comes to the global gateway capital, so this poses or this gives India or the gift city as an opportunity where it can develop as a global gateway for the capital inflow. Now, when it comes to the structural advantages, we have certain structural advantages in India. Like, for example, there is institutional credibility, because India is the world's largest democracy, as well as we have the independent regulators which are there, and we also have progressed with the economic reforms. We have progressive economic reforms that have started from 1991. That is the LPG or liberalization, privatization and globalization. And since then, we have progressed with various economic reforms that we have seen in the Indian economy. At the same time, when it comes to the economy scale and also the diversity, so India is one of the fastest growing major economy. It is the growth rate will be more than 6% of the GDP. And at the same time, when it comes to the economy, India is the 5th largest economy, and we are aiming and striving to be the 3rd largest economy of the world. At the same time, when it comes to the domestic opportunity, we provide with unparalleled domestic opportunity because of the market that India has. We are the largest populated country in the world, and this being said, the population, it provides the market access to the investors as well. So therefore, India has the structural advantage of the demographics as well. But at the same time, when it comes to demographic dominance, so there will be 1.04 billion working population or working age person that will be present in India by 2030, and they will contribute 24.3% of the world's incremental workforce over the next decade. So these are the structural advantages that India has when it comes to the the robust mechanism or the robust kind of the environment that is here for the investors to invest. At the same time, when it comes to Gift City, so there are more than 1,034 registered entities which are there at the Gift City, and also more than $100 billion managed assets, more than 310 alternative investment funds which are present at the Gift City in India. There are more than $26 billion total commitments, and when it comes to the arrangements that we have done over here, so there are certain offshore status that is given under FEMA, that the entities that are located here, they are treated as offshore entities, and that grants them full capital account convertibility and also the free repatriation. At the same time, when it comes to the unified regulator, so there is a regulator which is unified, that is IFSCA. This is a single body regulator over here that have successfully consolidated the powers of RBI, SEBI as well as IRDI and PFRDA. So all these regulators, this power, they had been consolidated to a single unified regulator when it comes to the Gift City. But at the same time, when it comes to the Indian atmosphere for the investors over here, the most important thing is that there is impermanence, and that is what repel the capital. Now, what global capital demands? The global capital demands that there should be a decades-long legislative certainty before executing multi-billion dollar hub relocations. All right, there should be statutes, there should be laws that should guarantee them that there will be a certain kind of environment that they will have for a decade. All right, there should be decade-long commitments. But what exactly is in India? So in India, there are tax holidays in rolling 5-year tranches. And these tax holidays, they will be expiring in 2030. Overseas income exemptions are there, but they are managed via temporary circulars, and there is no single statute that governs these income exemptions. So there are rolling extensions, and rolling extensions, they signals that the policy is not permanent, it is impermanence. And that is what is required, that there should be a permanence when it comes to the investors, because that is what they seek while they are investing into, or they are relocating multi-billion assets to our country. At the same time, very important core principle when it comes to global, capitals, or the global, gateway capital. So when it comes to global gateway capital, there is that you do not tax the gateway. As when it comes to Singapore, Singapore is also a global gateway capital, which currently hosts $6 trillion of the capital, and primarily as a hub for the investment into other Asian nations. So over here, what is required, or what is the need of the hour, is that we should not or do not tax the gateway, because every global financial hub, it is built on this principle itself. Alright, forego the immediate tax revenue at the gateway, so that we can capture the exponentially larger, highly taxable secondary economic benefits which are there. At the same time, when it comes to India, so India also has, there should be the 4-point legislative mandate that should be built, through which we can build India as a global gateway of the capital. That is, there should be a tax permanence. There should be tax permanence. That is the requirement of the investor. There should be clear and long-term tax exemptions for the capital that is entering into gift city, and that should be enshrined into an unshakable statute or the law. At the same time, the hybrid model could be, it could be adopted, where we can allow the GCC firms or the global gateway capital firms registered in the gift city to deploy their operational teams across the major Indian cities that are there. At the same time, there are the talent visas that should be, given. So it is the need of the hour that we should establish long-term visas for the international financial professionals, and if they are tied to the GCC or to the global gateway capital, and grant tax exemptions to their global income as well, so that we can have the professionals, the required professionals, which can enter into India, and ultimately they can enjoy the tax benefits as well. At the same time, there should be a unified alignment as well. As we have seen, there should be legally mandate for the RBI, SEBI, GST Council, and the Ministry of Home Affairs to issue aligned and permanent standing clarifications within a strict timed framework as well. Now, what makes India unique, and why India can serve as the global gateway for the capital? So, like I said, that there is a rapid economic growth. We are already the 5th largest economy of the world, and we are striving to be the 3rd largest economy. And also, when it comes to the economic growth of India is more than 6%. And ultimately, there is private consumption growth when it comes to the middle class society in India. So there is the middle class society in India that is developing, or we have the class that is moving ahead, and ultimately the consumption patterns are also increasing. So that gives the investors a very good and robust market when it comes to India. At the same time, we have a demographic dividend where we will have a larger workforce by 2030, and also we have supportive government initiatives as well. Like, for example, when it comes to Make in Bharat, we have Make in Bharat, we have Digital India, and also the PLI or product linked incentives, which are important for the investors. We have a robust mechanism where the government is promoting the manufacturing in India, and it is trying to establish India as a manufacturing hub as well. We have expanding industries, and the industrial sector have expanded right from the traditional industries to the sunrise industries as well. And also there is the geographic location where India is located. We are at the heart of Asia. So ultimately, any industry that establish its base in India, it can reach to the rest of the Asia with ease and with very easy transport mechanisms that we have. At the same time, as talking about the transport mechanism, we have the infrastructural advantages when it comes to road transport, when it comes to the air transport, or even with the railway transport. So we have a very robust mechanism of the transportation, and we have the infrastructural advantages when it comes to the ports as well, and there are export incentives as well which the government of India is providing. And these are some of the factors that India could be the global gateway of the capital, the next global gateway of the capital for the Asia after Singapore or Hong Kong. So that would be all in this video, but at the same time, do not forget to follow me on my Telegram. And for this, you can join me on the Telegram by just scanning the QR code or by writing or by searching for me at the rate Bhava_StudyIQ. So that would be all. Thank you. Bye-bye. Take care. Jai Hind. Plus, do not forget to like this session and also share this session with your friends and subscribe to our channel for more such future updates. Thank you. Bye-bye. Take care and Jai Hind.